Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to another mediocre episode here on Flex TV. Nah, I'm just messing with you. Actually, today's episode is going to be epic. And why is that? That is because Corsair has pulled through and hooked it up with almost everything RGB on their lineup. And I'm talking about the iCUE LS100 smart lighting strip, the K70 RGB TKL keyboard, iCUE LT100 smart lighting towers, the LL120 RGB series fans. We've got it all and everything in between because we're on a quest to create another epic RGB gaming setup. We're gonna do it right here in my living room at that wall right there. All this is gonna be powered by Corsair's iCUE RGB controlling software, which is incredible. And I'm gonna go through that here in just a bit too. So what do you say? We start building that PC. God, I love this stuff. Let's do it. So once I finally got everything out of their box and in place, I realized I'm an idiot. I totally forgot to get a monitor stand. And nobody likes to really see these legs just chilling out on the desk, right? Taking up all that space. But then I had an idea, and I'd like to think that it's an original idea, but it's probably not. And if you have done this before, please leave me a message in the comment below and let me know how it worked out for you. And if you haven't seen this before, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it as well. So basically, I made a mark near the center of the monitor stand arm. Then I removed the base from the stand and drilled a hole through the desk where my mark was. Next, I found some wide washers and a long enough bolt that was the same size and thread as the screw that I removed from the bottom of the monitor stand. Then I held the monitor back in place and gave it a little zip with the drill, and voila! Because this is a low profile sit-stand desk without a cable skirt, I knew that cable management would be a little bit tricky. Hiding wires in a way that just doesn't look clunky is truly an art. You can use J-channels and other sticky back clips to mount your cables, but I found that the double-sided sticky tape doesn't really stand the test of time and it eventually just falls down. A personal preference for me is to use these cable anchors and Velcro cable ties. The Velcro cable ties allow you to easily remove and add cables as needed, and because the anchors are screwed in, you don't really need to worry about anything falling down. When routing the cables, I like to mount the power supply and surge strips first, then work down routing the larger to smaller cables on their own channels. So I know that RGB sometimes gets a bad rap, but I'm a believer that when it's done right, it can truly enhance any setup, even minimalistic setups. And I've tried to balance this out even on my own main setup the best that I could by keeping the natural wood in sync with the modern futuristic look of my cable hider and the drawers. One of the most important tools in your RGB arsenal is the controller, and this is where Corsair's iCUE software comes in. You've probably already heard of iCUE before, and it's totally jam-packed with tons of incredible features that would literally take an entire video on its own to go through, so we won't really go that far into depth. But basically, iCUE is the ultimate interface from performance monitoring to complete customization of all your RGB components. For now though, I'll just show you some of the cool but somewhat unknown features that I used for this setup. At first, as I was looking at the PC, it just didn't look complete, like it was just missing something. So I snagged an extra LS100 strip that I had, and I used the extension cables to route from the number 2 port of the RGB node that was behind the monitor over to the inside of the PC, where I lined up two 250mm strips inside the casing, as well as a longer 450mm strip on the bottom. Now, routing this strip all the way over from the RGB node probably wasn't the most effective solution because I could have just added a second one closer to the PC. But I wanted to show how easy it is to extend an external RGB strip that literally you could go anywhere with. So there's a reason why I went with an Asus motherboard for this build, and that's because Corsair has actually teamed up with Asus and developed a plugin that allows you to control the RGB lights on the motherboard, its ARGB headers, as well as Asus compatible GPUs directly from within iCUE, making it even easier to sync even more rainbow puke without having to use multiple different controlling software. Thank you, Corsair. Another cool feature within iCUE is the ability to sync with Philips Hue lights, such as bulbs or play bars. Setup is extremely easy to do as well. Just go into settings and toggle on the Philips Hue. From there, you'll select the Philips Hue bridge icon at the top and run the setup wizard. For this setup, I ended up using 2 Philips Hue bars that I mounted under the desk to give it that additional color depth and separation for each of the customized profiles. And probably my favorite feature from this setup has got to be the ambient video lighting. The combination of both the lighting towers and the LS100 LED strips provides some serious incredible immersion for both videos and games. The colors are accurate, bright, and very responsive for what's being displayed on the screen. Not to mention, installation and setup couldn't really have been any easier.